Just gonna wait for Suzuri to get ready. And we're off. Alright, so this is Kirby's Dream Land 3. It's probably one of the lesser known Kirby games. It came out towards the end of the SNES life cycle.
And if you watched AGDQ this year, then you probably saw Suzuri and Swordsmankirby co-op this game together. But here they're going to be racing the same category they did their best ending.
And so that run was... With co-op, you can do a few things that you can't do with single player, but this is going to be a single player only run, which is the harder, I guess, and more pure category.
Yeah, mostly co-op or using a second player just makes things a little more convenient for yourself. And you're able to store power in some cases.
And also the mini games that you'll see later on are a lot easier. So each level has an objective. For this one, as you can see, I'm jumping over all these flowers. The objective is to not kill any of them. Obviously that's not very difficult, but they do get harder and harder as the game progresses. Every single level has a unique objective, and at the end of each level you have one of these rooms where the character associated with that level will give you a heart star piece if you've completed the objective. And you need to do this for every single level to get the best ending.
So the best ending for this game is actually not 100%. You might have seen 100% files on their file select screen. Getting all the heart stars, or whatever they're called, only gets you to 97% in the file menu.
And so sometimes this category is actually just called 97% for short. So, in this level the objective is to tickle that guy. I have no idea how you're supposed to figure that out casually. I was talking to the Hulk, who you probably saw a couple runs from earlier today, and he said that was the only one in the game that he never figured out.
Yeah, a lot of the objectives can be very obtuse. There's a lot of them require you to have a certain partner with a certain power, doing something at a certain room that you just have to sort of know. The game doesn't really give you a hint until you reach the end, and it tells you whether you passed or failed.
Alright, so this level is going to be the first place we're going to see Ku and the first of the guessing minigames. Those, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's some of the most notorious parts of the run. With Ku, if you mash B, you go faster, and the faster you mash, the faster you go. And this effect is actually like even more pronounced underwater.
Yep. And the task for this game obviously has perfect mashing, and it can go so much faster than any human could. It's actually like absurd.
I heard that the person who made that task is like working on a new one, but it also seems like he's working on multiple new ones, according to his Twitter. So the point of this game, he throws this Gordo across and it has a different face, and you just have to pick out which one. And each time it gets a little bit faster. I swear, like, with all the like interlacing and stuff like that, the third one isn't like really visible at all. That one's one of the easier ones. In this auto-scroller, you can you're eventually gonna run to these roughs. These enemies are called, but I'm just gonna damage boost through them. I don't know what Suzuri's gonna do, but I think he's gonna do the same. This game has a really big lack of invincibility frames. And with a lot of Kirby games, if you like take one hit, you lose your power up. But this is the first game where if you take 2 hits next to each other, you'll lose your power up.
And not only that, but the way momentum works in this game is very different than any other Kirby game. There's a lot of things that if you touch or do, just instantly bring your momentum down to 0.
Right.
So it's like this game is so cute and pleasant, but trying to actually go fast in it is exceedingly hard. Not only are you mashing all the time, so your arm gets tired, but there's all these mechanics of the game that are working against you.
So we have the invincibility candy right now. It's going to help us for this fight. Normally if we touch this mini-boss, it'll damage us, but we're just going to... Oh, I missed. We're going to let him walk through us with the invincibility candy. I don't know, this fight's really awkward. Even when I was, like, at my best, I didn't really have a good grasp of this fight.
Yeah, it's sort of like trying to do as much damage as possible, but it's really not... It's not easy at all to get the whole full fight with the invincibility candy still going.
So these blocks, normally you'd have to inhale them or headbutt them, but with Ku, there's no way of doing that, especially when you have a power-up. So it's fastest to get off Ku, and when you jump off of Ku, you actually headbutt the blocks, and then you quickly get back on. Some of these characters that you see at the end of the levels are references to like some like really obscure games and some not so obscure games. You'll see some of those later on. So that one's from like some like Journey to the West like Famicom Disk System game that was only released in Japan. Alright, so the rest of the run isn't done with Ku. There are certain levels that require us to use other animal friends. So this is Kine. If you played Dreamland 2, he has really bad movement on the ground, but in this game he runs at the same speed as Kirby.
He's still just as big though.
Yeah.
Whenever you're partnered with an animal friend, your hitbox is as big as they are. So when you had Ku earlier, if you got hit by Ku, the sprite, that would be considered a hit. And same for the somewhat larger Kine Kirby combo.
Yeah, so Dreamland 2, in Dreamland 2, like, there's like hardly any collision detection. But in this one it's really pronounced. So all Kirby's like 1 tile by 1 tile roughly. And so there are a lot of places with 1 tile gaps. You could go with it with Kirby, but not with any animal friends. Oops. Yeah, the game anticipates that you're going to just float at the top of the screen with Ku, so it places a lot of enemies there. In this level, there's these 3 pieces I need to collect. I should mention that every first level, every second level of each world, and so on and so forth, have a theme.
Yep.
The one. Yeah, go ahead.
So the first level of each world has to do with helping some sort of flower. And then there's ones where I believe it's the fourth one that has to be with an animal friend each time. And then there's ones where you have to break out a certain shape in blocks. That was if you played Kirby 64. I'm not. Have you played Kirby 64, SK?
I've never heard of that game.
You might be familiar with that puzzle.
Yeah, a lot of elements from Kirby 64 are actually originated in this game. So now I have Clean. Clean is this power-up that's only in this game, and actually it does a lot of damage for a lot of animal friends. So I'm just gonna sweep this tree here. And since now we've collected all the Heart Star pieces of this world, it's gonna play this cutscene where like the evil gets cleansed out of the boss and whatnot.
So very quickly about the combination of Clean and Coup. It's one of the most damaging combos in the game. Surprisingly, not everything does the same amount of damage. A lot of, like Kirby, Kirby said, a lot of the Clean combos do a lot of damage, but they're very finicky to use. So, like, Coup is a feather duster, but as soon as you use the attack, you drop out of the air if you were flying, and it takes a long time to get out of the animation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of like Kirby's like solo power-ups are really bad in terms of damage. But with Animal Friends, usually it's pretty good. Some of them are still pretty bad. Like if you have Coup plus Spark, it still does like the least amount of damage. So this is Pitch. I really like a lot of Pitch's power-ups. So with Clean, he turns into like this bucket of water. And the objective of this level is to water some flowers. These levels...
You can't water them. You
Yeah.
can't water them too much.
Yeah, if you water them twice...
They're gonna collapse. Which is a real danger. If you fail any objective, you have to exit out of the level and then re-enter it. And go back from the start to where you were before. For a lot of the later levels, this can be a huge time loss. It's like minutes. Several minutes can be lost.
Yep.
Some nice trick shots over the second flower.
Yeah, Pitch's hitbox is really weird. As you can see, like right here, when you jump, Pitch is in like a different position relative to Kirby. And that previous room, that could be like a big issue in terms of like avoiding enemies. Yeah, Pitch has some nice abilities. Like if you have Spark, he turns into like a remote control plane.
I really like Cutter in Pitch when I played as a kid, because you could get it so that he would circle you constantly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so as you can see, if you try to inhale stuff on the ground, you lose all of your horizontal speed. But if you inhale or spit in the air, you actually preserve whatever speed you're moving at. So now, actually most of this world features Kine. So last time we saw him in forest, now we see him underwater. And just like Coup in air, if you mash with with Kine underwater, you move faster. Alright, this guy's got an umbrella on his head, so let's copy him.
Mr. Umbrella Head just wants to be shown that someone else in the world is like him.
Not really much to say about this level.
What you saw Suzuri do just there was skipping through the water. So if you jump very quickly while moving forward, you're able to keep your momentum traveling through the surface of the water. Unfortunately, if you get hit, you just lose it instantly. You start having to really slowly make your way across.
This is probably the easiest of the 3 guessing minigames, in my opinion. I have messed it up though.
I think we've all messed up everything, all of them,
Yeah.
at some point.
This game has a bunch of auto-scrollers, I guess, of varying difficulty. The one earlier with the Nuffs, like, going down the stage in 1-3, is one that probably, like, a lot of people when they first play the game, like, die on.
Oh yeah, that one is very deceptive, because if you try to inhale those guys,
You just get stuck.
yeah, you're not gonna have enough time to push yourself down through the floor afterwards.
Alright, I'm gonna get Needle here. I've never really experimented around, but like, it seems like Needle is one of the better attack power-ups for this. So the enemy blocking the door right there is Spark, and some of the rooms in this level are dark, and Kind plus Spark is a light bulb, so you can use that to illuminate some rooms. So for example, there's a hidden door all the way on the right over there. And you need to access the hidden room in this stage. So I think every 4th stage, I think it's like, there's like a secret path of some kind, whether or not it uses power-ups or it's just like, just gotta know where it is. Oops.
Yeah, but the hidden doors are always in the same place, so
Right.
as long as you know where they are, you can always enter them again.
Alright, so this Captain Stitch, he's kind of an annoying mini-boss. How long it takes for him to... How long he's vulnerable for, like after he does his attack, is random. So for example, I got bad luck there. I don't really need him, he's Needle, if I already have Needle. One annoying part about that fight, and in this room coming up here, is that there are eventually these waterfalls that are pushing you down into enemies.
They can, if you're not careful, they can just sap your speed, like a lot of things in this game. a lot of the game is managing against the environments.
Yes, Kirby is in Kind's mouth. Kind doesn't really seem to mind that much.
I mean, kinds of fish. He doesn't have arms, just fins.
True. Alright. Yeah, so every 5th level is the one with the animal friend, so as you saw in the thumbnail thing, it's going to be Pitch. This is the only place in the entire game where you're actually required to use an animal friend. So here, you would find Kine if you didn't already have him, and then you need to swim against this current. Alright, there's a little bit of a puzzle here.
So, what you have to do here is you have to get Kine through to the other side of this room by breaking those 2 power barriers. So you need to grab fire from the room below, and then you have to bring stone all the way back for him to fit through.
And there's this one tile gap on top that only Kirby can fit through. If you saw the GDQ run, we used 2 players to sort of warp 1 player riding Kine past that 1 tile gap. That's one of those things that makes playing just 1 player a little bit harder. I'm just gonna grab this max.
So Kine is the only one that can fight against these currents here in this room, and Pitch can only be found behind a very strong current. So you need Kine to get Pitch to bring Pitch to the end of the level.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, you need Kine to swim against one of the currents earlier, so you can't just bring Pitch in from somewhere else.
So unlike Ku, who has a very strong horizontal momentum, or actually just like speed in any direction, as long as you're mashing, Pitch is not as strong. He's just a tiny bird. So flying with him can be very difficult. You really can't go forward as quickly, but by inhaling as you move forward, you get a little burst of speed each time. And that's how you're able to get, past that section without getting too messed up. And after you're finished bringing Pitch to his mother, they go back and get Ku, because Ku is so fast. It's worth going back to a previous level to get back.
Yeah, it's worth going back to a previous world just to get Ku. So this level has a lot of water. I even tested for an 80% run, which would have Kine at this point. Whether or not it'd be faster, it's use Kine throughout this level and then find Ku later on. And it turns out it's still faster to backtrack to get Ku. This maze solution's the same all the time. I guess one way you could try to figure it out if you're playing this casually is that if you mess up, you go into this back room that has all these other paths leading back to the start of that room. I guess you can kind of figure it out from there. That shape is the shape of the character at the end. You can actually see the shape in that middle room that I didn't go into. the inspiration for that one shard in Kirby 64. I'm gonna try to do something here. Nice, okay. So what happened there is that there's an enemy blocking the door, and I can try to inhale it, but I can also cancel my inhaling animation by entering the door. That saves just a little bit of time. Alright, backtrack for clean. Acro is kind of annoying luck-based boss. The first phase, I just sorry, I just need to hit him 3 times. I want to make sure that he's facing right here because he's gonna go start moving backwards, and he's closer to the wall on this side. And now he's just gonna dance around randomly. I need to be careful not to lose my power up here.
Yeah, the second half of this fight can be really tricky. Not only do you have reduced speed underwater, but the way that the Feather Duster attacks means you're very vulnerable to Acro's movements. And if you lose your power up underwater, there's no way to get back. And then you have to fight him very the normal, intended way, I guess. Intended conditions.
Yeah. What happened on Suzuri's stream? He just said cool in chat.
I'm not sure. He seems like he's doing normally, so.
Okay, maybe he got really good acro.
Yeah, his fight seemed pretty good, so.
Yeah, we cleaned the whale. So even though there are flowers in this level, the objective actually is to crush them. We actually want to help the mushrooms out in this stage. Annoying one tile gap.
So as you can see, Coup plus Fire is a very strong power for movement. Gives you a lot of iframes as long as the attack animation is going. And that lets you pass through not only these cannons here, but larger objects later on that they'll be faced with.
Yeah, and you can cancel the attack in the middle whenever you want.
If you keep using it constantly, the distance traveled by the fireball is shorter each time. So you have to carefully manage how often you're using it.
Unfortunately, as you saw at this level, some levels devolve into like flying on the top of the screen.
And the game really does throw a lot of enemies at you along the upper part of the screen. You have the witches on their brooms, and also the pterodactyls that fly at you. There's spiders on the ceiling. But as long as you're able to carefully navigate, you can just get through them all.
Oops.
So the objective for this level is to clean a bunch of these rooms to help out the well,
Custodian?
her name is Obasan, so
What does that
Or
mean?
Mother.
Oh, okay,
Mother, yeah.
okay.
He's just called Mother. She's working hard to clean the house, you know?
Seems like Kirby's doing most of the work, though. I mean, she's just sleeping in one room. Kirby sleeps 2 very quickly.
We can't all have a bird partner.
True. Alright. I should mention Ku's movement is not simply which direction you're holding, it's like a combination of 2 directions. So rooms like this are actually pretty annoying to optimize. Alright, I'm gonna jump into the water and grab this maximum tomato. I feel like at this point, I'm always at low health. Oops, I'm getting destroyed at the top of the screen.
Yep. Because Kirby has so low iframes, it's very easy to get chained into a bunch of enemies and you quickly lose a lot of your health.
This level coming up here is pretty difficult. Like half the level is the guessing minigame, which is really hard on its own right. There's also so many enemies that you really need to be careful that you don't die.
So you can see Suzuri going through these very narrow tunnels with a lot of spike blocks going up and down. And like I said earlier, Ku's hit sprite is a hitbox as long as you're attached to him. So you're very tall and it's very easy to get hit.
Whoops.
Some people would use fire with Ku here to get through the blocks, but they're going straight through it without doing that. Just because the blocks are on a cycle, that if you play the game enough, you know.
Alright, serious time. This is probably the hardest minigame of them.
Tamago here is a real pain.
You can throw out these fake faces, the ones with the smiley face, the evil grin.
They're laughing because they know they're gonna mess you up.
Ooh, okay, I'm okay.
Alright, nice.
And so if you mess it up, you have to reset the whole level. Just grabbing some fire for some safety here. Getting hit by a bat, it, like, latches onto you and wastes quite a bit of time. Nice double fire pickup, yeah. Wait until you see my triple fire strat later on.
Oh man. So the beginning part of this level is not very interesting. You fly over most of it, and then you fly through the room after that. what you see Suzuri in now is another autoscroller, but it's also a maze. You have to pick the right directions each time to get to the room with the objective. But the game doesn't tell you. You have no indication, so you kind of have to like guess. If you fail it, you have to restart the level. But it's always the same, so these guys know the directions they're going. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But I don't know. I like. I hope at least that everything in this game has like some reason or like some way of like finding out the solution. But for this one, I feel like there really just isn't anything but trial and error. This shark here at the end, annoying as well. That shark has cost me runs before. Oops. Wrong level.
So they got through the broom, the giant broom, and they rescued the little blue boy who's from a Japanese-only game, Shin Gamasari,
I have no idea.
something like that.
The one I was referencing earlier, the one in the first world, is from. I think it's like the same series. It's like that one's called Yuyuki or something.
Yeah, Yuki. I think it is. Yeah. Yep. This other one, the Shin Megami-sama. It's a sequel.
Oh, I'm quite low on health. That's okay. I screwed up the getting past those spiky blocks.
So the objective of this one is to bring Choo Choo all the way to the end of the level. But when you're partnering out with Choo Choo, you're unable to use Kirby's floating ability. You can only do a bunch of jumps. Each jump gets smaller each time you do it. But the trade-off is that Choo Choo can cling to the ceiling. So you have to navigate through all of the enemies after you pick up Choo Choo and bring her all the way to the end through these very tall vertical rooms.
This level is actually quite tricky. And I'm a little bit low on health, so this is a little bit.
Yeah, optimally you'll be doing a lot of deboosts through the enemies that are like in front of the ledges. But they can be. It's easy to hit them and then fall into some other enemy and like, lose all your health that way.
Okay.
Still made it.
Yeah. Scary stuff. I'm gonna try to get the... Oh, I missed. Okay. Well, whatever.
That's right.
If I die, it's not a big deal. But it's not here.
So this is probably the most infamous stage
Hmm.
where you have to rescue Rob the robot. He's been separated into a bunch of pieces and scattered throughout this spaceship.
I'm gonna take a death here.
Alright, yeah, that's pretty good. Just short spawn.
Yeah.
So you have to go to every corner and side of the spaceship to collect the various pieces of Rob, solving all these puzzles.
So
The
this,
ones in the upper corners are you have to pick up the right power up or get the right door.
so for this one, the only thing is like you can't enter the middle door, but not every power up is breakable by like solo Kirby. Like those blocks, some of them, like for example, if you have fire, it only moves horizontally, so you actually can't hit
Yeah, you
any
can't hit the blocks
you.
above you unless you have an animal friend that has a different ability with fire, for example.
Funny you say Super Metroid, JRP.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
So you can only go down those blue blocks, and the game sort of gives you a preview of what it's going to be like on the way up.
So the room Suzuri now is the physically hardest room. Normally what you're supposed to do is bring Kine and Parasol to float over the gap here and swim against this current. They're underwater right now, I can't tell. But instead he uses Ku to simply mash fast enough to go against the current to reach the robot piece. And it's like it hurts. Like your arm hurts after doing that. You see SwordsmankKirby doing it now.
Alright. Suzuri, I swear, saves like 15 seconds on me every single time in this room.
Yeah, mashing is like if you haven't gotten already, the mashing is so integral to this game, and because it's an hour and a half ish, it's a lot of strain on your arm. It's really hard to practice this game.
I think I woke up one day, my entire right arm was numb. So that room's all in the dark, so it's once again, you could use Kine and Spark to locate which doors are correct.
And this part with Ku and Stone is incredibly scary because if you're like just a little late pulling out of the stone power, you're gonna fall straight into the pit and just have to restart. And not only that, but you have to do it twice on the way back as well.
This is one of the parts in the co-op run where you just warp past that one tile gap.
Yeah, you spawn Gooey, you give him Ku, Kirby can just walk through the one tile gap and bring Ku with him.
I think I got everything.
So this fight with the Pon Con. It's pretty tricky because you're constantly having to move out of the way of everything that's spawning on the screen. And again, because you're using Coup and Clean to deal most damage possible, but your hitbox is very large for starting her up with Coup.
Yo, nice RNG.
And whether the bosses spawn is completely RNG, because there are times where they can just spawn the little guys constantly, and there's nothing really you can do about it. It is possible there to, as you just saw, hit them off screen a little bit, as long as it hasn't been too long.
Ooh.
Just got him.
I'd say this is like probably the biggest piece of RNG in the run.
Yeah, I agree.
And not too long ago I saw Suzuri get a 3 cycle in that fight, which is insane. It means you need to get 4 hits on one of those cycles, which means hitting 2 of them, like hitting both of them twice.
That's very hard because the boss has a lot of iframes after getting hit, so you have to. It's like very precise timing to get 4 hits in.
And then you've also got the little guys trailing behind them usually.
So now we're in Cloudy Park, and as you might have guessed from a world based in the sky, Coup is going to be very prominent in this world, if he wasn't already. And after all the mashing you have to do in the spaceship, now you gotta do a whole bunch of more mashing for a much longer time.
Honestly, I mind the spaceship less than World 4 mashing. If you're quick enough, you can get that health capsule and go back and get one of those fire enemies. I'll just get it here.
The tunnel is full of fire enemies, thankfully, and they're very useful for a spiral level where you're just using fire and Coup to pass through these rolling boulders.
So that room, the boulders were going in the same direction as you. In the room after this, 2 after this, they'll be going towards you. And it's supposed to be like auto-scroller-like, but since we have fire, we can just go past them.
Right, you're supposed to like hide in those little safe areas, wait for the boulder to pass, but we just go through them. And after all of that, we get to the objective of the level, here at the end. And it sounds easy, you just have to use Coup and Clean to brush off the dust on these flowers here, but it's very difficult because of this layer in front of clouds that obscures your view, and because they're very delicate. If you hold the feather duster too long, you're going to crush the flower. If you land incorrectly, you're going to crush the flower. Basically, you can do a lot of things to crush the flower to get a level. And if you fail, you have to, exit out and redo the whole thing. All the auto-scrollers, all everything.
Whoops, I think I muted my mic. Oops. Now Gooey's out.
Hey, it's good.
I haven't had to use the gooey trick yet this run.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Actually, I might have. Nah, I don't remember.
No, you just kind of went with like half health and
Oh yeah.
did it anyway. The pitch level. So there's a small trick you could do if you're low on health in this game. If you're at like 1 big bar health, right?
Or
Or
less.
half. Or less, yeah. You can spawn Gooey, because he'll take up one part of your bar. He'll take the furthest part though. And if you spawn him and then swallow him again, it basically heals you for 1 full bar. Thankfully, none of them have had to do it so far, but in some of the later levels,
You might see it.
you might see it when they have to do really long sections and there's no health in sight.
Alright, we're almost done here.
Yeah, this level is just a very long section of flying. You have to bring Needle to the end of the level to pop this balloon. No other ability works, not even Cutter or anything else. Only Needle will pop that balloon. So because they're on the 3rd level of this world, it's time once again for a quick reaction guessing game. So there's 12 total Gordos that spawn around this octagon, and you have to quickly count one of the colors. Whichever color he tells you to count, it's random which one he wants you to input afterwards. So you kind of have to take a mental snapshot of all of them at once. There's also a gray one that can spawn sometimes to mess up the total. So you have to do a lot of quick mental math to work out the colors. Oh, unfortunately, Suzuri messed up the last one. So now he has to exit out of the level, and Swordsman Kirby suddenly pulls ahead.
Until I mess it up too. Oh, I messed it up too. Oh, I reset too, that's bad. No, I guess I have to redo. Get Ku all over again.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you reset, you do lose your...
I don't know why I decided to reset, but that was stupid.
It's just reflex, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a minor time loss, but still, you have to do the level over again.
I second guessed myself, shouldn't have done that.
Oh, well, Suzuri just killed it again, so...
Oh boy. Imagine if we had to get Mercy killed because we couldn't beat a minigame.
These games are legit hard. They're not, like, this is supposed to be a kid's game. And somehow they're supposed to be able to do this. It's just not right.
Alright, let's be smarter this time, hopefully.
He doesn't always pick the largest number. There are times he picks a smaller number.
The larger ones are more likely to come up.
Yes. If it's like 7 blues, it's probably gonna be blue. But if it's like 3 reds
Alright.
and 2 yellows, it's possible you could pick yellow.
So I think what happens is that of all the Gordos, it picks one at random and then takes that color. I think that's what it is. Unless it's a gray one. Yeah, Suncur, kids can play any percent. So if you're like grinding attempts of this, if you fail like any of these mini games once, runs over. You're going for like a really good time. Because even that one, that's probably like this one right here is probably the closest to the beginning of the level. It's still like a minute lost.
Thankfully, you get a nice cooldown period here afterwards, where you just have to hold right, wait not to mesh.
There's like a howl room, so if you like in a lot of Kirby games, there's like a secret room. Usually, there's like a bunch of blocks that spell howl. There's like at the end of this auto scroller here, there's like a bunch of Batamons. Batamons are these like Kirby-looking enemies that are usually in the background, out of reach, and so you can actually like interact with one in that room. This is probably one of the trickiest levels in terms of flying with Ku. Ooh.
This is sort of like Ku's level, quote unquote. All the animal friends have a level dedicated to them, except for Ku. Apparently has no family or friends, I guess. But he's required for this level to complete the Heart Star objective.
Oops. I lost fire. Didn't realize. So I'll have to use clean.
Oh, that was a pretty good fight. He can go very wrong. If he goes invincible and starts flying upwards. So to rescue that little Mikan orange, you have to fly against the air currents, and only Ku can do that.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, normally you would keep fire throughout this entire thing.
Who cares? No one cares about Ku. That's it. This is the level now where you use Rick. And Rick is the best animal partner. You cannot debate this with me. It's not possible to debate it.
We're just gonna drop Ku off in that pit.
So you have to bring Rick to the very end of this level, and being this is a sky world, there's a lot of pits and a lot of very narrow pillars that you have to run across and jump up. Rick's special ability is that he can wall jump or climb walls, and so it's used here to get past these Gordos. And this next section is probably the better, one of the best rooms speed-wise.
Mm-hmm. Last year at this marathon, I died here. But when done correctly, it looks really nice. Uh-oh, I'm gonna die again. Alright.
So it's possible to keep your momentum going forward as you're jumping on enemies, as long as you're holding the jump button. And if you play this level or this room correctly, you're just like constantly jumping on enemies throughout this entire room. It's really cool. You do need some cooperation from the enemies placement though. That's a little random.
Yeah, one thing you can do that you can hold the jump button as you're bouncing off an enemy. And you can do this with Kine as well, and you bounce a lot higher. And it's like almost necessary for that room if you want to do it quickly. Look at these wizards here. They kind of look like the level 6 boss in Gimmick.
Oh, they do! Holy... I never made that connection. Big whiz.
Big whiz. When I first watched Gimmick Run, I'm like, hey, that guy's in Dreamland 3. Do you think it's an actual reference or like just a coincidence?
Oh, I'm sure it could be like a small little cameo. I wouldn't put it past them. Anyway, unfortunately, despite being their best partner, Rick is slow. So they abandoned him, they picked up Ku again, and the objective of the level is to break out the blocks in a specific pattern. It's not just a simple diamond this time, it's an actual like eye-shaped thing.
I always thought it kind of looked like a trophy shape. I don't know. But in a room that I didn't go into, that character is upside down. So you actually have to like paint the blocks in his like right side up shape. Otherwise, he stays upside down. These pictures coming alive is a little bit of foreshadowing for the next room. For the next... What the heck?
For the boss, basically.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing here. For some reason I thought it was the goal game, and so I pulled out GUI and started floating up like an idiot. This is Otto. She's gonna draw all the Dreamland, or most of the Dreamland 2 bosses.
Everyone who did not make the cut this game, they were reduced to drawings.
I think Ice Dragon got the best deal. He has a drawing in this game, Kirby 64. Oh man, this sweet stuff is destroying me right now. Alright.
He shows up in some of the newer ones too, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing them playing Robo a lot.
Yeah. Like in the... in the reference to this fight, I guess.
Yeah.
This is Krakow, he's the actual, like, real part of this fight.
Krakow can go very wrong very quickly. Because of how you're falling when you attack, you can run into him. He has a very large cloud person thing. And as soon as you defeat all the bosses though, Addo is just going to come at you with her paintbrush, but she only has half a bar of health.
I think in Kirby 64, like, she has a full bar of health, I think, but she still just takes one hit. Alright, Alright, so now we're on to World 5. Whoops. In there. Gooey keeps showing up uninvited.
He just wants to be featured, dude. Well, Addo was possessed by these dark blobs, so that's why she was attacking Kirby. If you come back to this boss afterwards, after you've like completed all the hard stars of the world, she starts drawing you a bunch of nice things instead of bosses.
Like food items, Game Boys.
Game Boys, jewelry. Maybe she wants to marry you. I don't know. The objective of this world, of this level, is again you have to help out the flowers. They're all frozen. For some reason, they're growing in the iceberg level. So, yeah, they're frozen. So you have to thaw them out, and like the feather duster, if you're not careful with your movement or you try to go over them again, you're just gonna get crushed.
Hopefully I don't die. I'll try to grab this. Nope, I missed it again.
Well, you got one up, so. But yeah, it's actually pretty bad if he gets hit in this upcoming room, because keeping Ku is definitely what you want to do.
Alright, I'm gonna do the gooey trick. There we go. Now I'm at 1.5 instead of 1 health. Now that I think about it, like the World 4 guessing minigame, I think I did the exact same thing during AGDQ. We messed it up. That was like my fault, and then I reset. But whatever.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know why it's such an instinct to soft reset. I guess I'm like resetting the run at that point.
It's pretty easy, just like a button combination on the SNES.
Right.
So.
As opposed to like waiting for the door to open and then exiting, then pausing, etc.
So the ice power-up is actually very helpful for a lot of these flying sections, because when you throw a ice block, it just takes out any enemy in its path. And SK is taking down some lava sucking things. I don't know what they are.
I don't know. I've never
Can you
seen
tell
these
me
before.
what they are, chat?
This one with 3 in them is annoying because you can easily get comboed like this. I probably
They
won't.
don't deal any damage, they're just like annoying. And you don't have to actually throw the ice up the versions of them, you just have to like freeze them and you can leave. It's really nice to keep Ice and Ku through this level, because you can just like exit out one Metroid room and throw the ice and go push it and go straight to the next room.
I did it again. Okay, whatever.
Alright, apparently we helped Samus Aran, who also is from apparently an obscure SNES game.
Never played it. I was supposed to.
Really not?
No, I have.
Okay.
I was supposed to keep Parasol. That's a relatively new idea. Not really a big deal, though. Alright, this is like the worst. There's this really long auto-scroller here, and then there's a guessing minigame behind it.
Yeah, it's not good. Not only that, but you're like so slow underwater with Kirby. It's very easy to get hit by these kappas that are throwing their rings at you.
It's gonna take a little bit of time loss to get that maximum tomato.
To me, though, this is the hardest minigame. I just can't do the sound and stuff. No. Alright, so what they have to do is Chef Kawasaki is going to drop a bunch of Gordos, and they're each going to make an individual sound. And then he's going to ask you to pick out which Gordo made which sound. And it can be really tricky. I'm going to shut up now because that's what's going to do it.
Ooh, okay. I wasn't 100% sure of that last one.
Nice.
So ideally I want to keep Parasol all the way over here, so I can take care of these icicles, but I'm going to just try to like damage boost past them instead.
Ooh, unfortunately, Suzuri misses the second one there. So he's going to have to go through all of that auto-scroller again.
Yeah, so things like the mini-games that make me hesitate when I think about like running this game again. Especially in like a marathon setting.
Yeah, it can be really stressful in a marathon setting where you have a really tight limit, and failing any of these games can add minutes. So it's rough. I think one of the reasons that co-op got into AGDQ was because there were 2 chances at each of these games.
And we still messed it up.
I doubt it's going to be in a GDQ again anytime soon.
So this level is all about fire. It's the 4th level, so there's once again a secret path, and you can. I think you can only do this with Ku. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's only Ku and Fire that are able to reach it, because he's the only one who has a downwards attack. And this room with the jaw gun, so it's really nice to get through it cleanly.
I call them claptraps, but that's almost certainly the wrong name.
Yeah, I don't don't know their proper name. But you have to constantly alternate your movement up and down in order to evade them.
I'm just gonna go into this room, drop off Ku, so he disappears. And his normal like spawn point is like here, so it saves a little bit of time of like trying to go all the way back to get him. I like how the animal friends are like shocked when you pick someone else. And then very sad afterwards. Oops. Okay. This is the ice mini boss. It sucks. He's only vulnerable when his head is attached to his body. So when he shoots into like 3 like this, he's not.
Oh.
Just terrible. Yeah, that went okay.
Yeah, that boss is not good. And unfortunately, Suzuri missed the 3rd one. So.
Oh, darn. I should have suggested something like we can use 2 players just for the mini games, but hindsight is 2020.
I'll just say again that these memes are very hard, and it's very difficult to get them in such a setting as a marathon.
Alright, so this is Nago stage. Nago's not actually in this level anywhere, so you have to bring him in and keep him the whole level. And already
this is a very long level with a lot of traps and enemies. And it is the only level where you have to bring an animal friend to the end, but you cannot find the animal friend in that level. All the other ones, you can find them somewhere along the way.
the game tricks you. It's like, oh, here are these animal friends that you can have.
Yeah, it gives you all the other ones.
Alright, I'm just gonna take it real slow through this room. Never mind.
Never mind, he's going fast.
It's very easy to lose your power up in here, and it's really important to keep fire, at least for like the first half of this level. Just for this one room in particular. Clearing those blocks any other way is a lot slower. Any instant death stuff? There are some pits, but it's not like you'll ever... Like, you probably won't fall in them.
Oh, he has to do it again. Oh, it sucks. It's really demoralizing.
Yeah.
I think Nago does have some of the best combinations.
Ooh, I almost lost.
Oh.
Yeah, and a lot of Nagos are really good. So that was supposed to be a triple fire strat. The triple fire pickup, but I killed one of them by accident, so it's only double, unfortunately. If you jump along the ceiling, those guys wake up a little bit earlier, allowing us to fire straight through them. This Nago and Clean, Kirby turns into, I guess, a washcloth? Or a rag or something like that.
Yep, and Nago is just pushing him along the floor, cleaning.
This is not the fastest strat here, but it's by far the safest. So you can skip that first Z-Bond, there's just enough room for you to slip past. It saves about a second. What is Nago plus Spark?
He like rubs them to gain static electricity, and you kind of like move forward.
Oh, so
it's
like,
really small.
is it like the one in Kirby 64?
I think. I think he's Suzuri's hoping for an answer from the chat. Anyone knows? Alright, you got it. So the level that SK is on, it's a mini boss rush, and you need to absorb the power of every boss you defeat to grab these feathers. And we use Choo Choo through this because of what she can do to a lot of the mini bosses and for afterwards. It's like the only like the second, third level that we use Choo Choo in.
Yeah, yeah, like the second.
Well, you need to use her for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then her special level. Anyway, she's really cool. And for some reason, they didn't put a Spark or Cutter mini boss in this game, so they all need the regular enemy shot to give you those powers.
I wonder why that is. Like, do they just like run out of time developing the game?
I don't know. I mean, they had them in Dreamland too, so.
Right. And I think like Blocky, like that's the first time you see Blocky at all anywhere in the run.
Yeah, I think so too.
Alright. Nice Stitch RNG.
Alright, nice. So once again, SK is going to go back to get clean, which is as well as being good with Ku, it's good with Choo Choo for this particular fight.
You've got to be kidding me. Gooey, why?
Gooey! Oh.
Okay, I guess I have to reset. Wow.
Well, sometimes Gooey just messes things up.
This is probably not the fastest way of getting Choo Choo at this point, but whatever.
It's alright.
No, that was my fault. I shouldn't have spawned gooey in the first place. One small optimization. If you got something in your mouth, it's better to spit it out before you enter the door. Because otherwise you have to wait for Kirby to spit it out and then he'll enter the door.
So as you can see here, Choo-Choo with clean turns her into a magical girl, a witch, I guess. And only the end part of the broom does any damage. It's very powerful though, so it's hard to use, but there's attack power trade-off for that.
Mm-hmm. And so each phase of DED only takes 4 hits of the broom.
So because we collected all the heart stars, we're able to access the secret level 6 and fight the true boss of this game, Dark Matter.
That's not a good DD fight, so I'm actually pretty low on health. And you'll see why later on it's really nice to have like full health coming in here.
Yeah, it's really easy to take a lot of damage in this fight. But you'll see here that SK is swinging his rod, and even when the projectile isn't hitting it, the rod is hitting it, it still does damage.
So that's the first phase. Second phase is the hard one. You have to dodge all the projectiles, but once again, you can dodge all of them, it's not that hard. But then sometimes he can dive at you and you might not have enough time to react to it.
It's also, sometimes it can be a little tricky to dodge the projectile if he's also diving at you.
Right.
That can happen.
So far I haven't seen any dives, which is good. There are 2 types of dives you can do, one where he goes into the background. Okay, so this one he goes into the background and starts shooting at you. And then there's one where he dives at you and then like retreats. But because he's like so large, it's really easy to take like multiple hits during that attack.
It's Tamago again. He's back for his revenge. Yeah, this second has a lot of health.
It takes like well over 100 hits, I think.
And then this final phase,
Alright,
it's very
time.
vulnerable.
It's coming up. And tuck. Oops, no it's not. Whatever. It's like 4 seconds. Let's just split there instead.
Nice. GG.
Thanks. I'm watching the stream now. Okay, so it's like 129 flat.
Suzuri's not too far behind, despite the unfortunate business with Chef College. And these are some of the best credits. These drawings are amazing.
Mm-hmm. There's actually three different credit sequences. One for the bad ending, one for the good ending, and then one for being boss rush. But I like this one the best.
Boss Butch.
Boss Butch! Exclamation mark.
Yes, exactly. So if you get 100%, you get a different set of credits with different drawings. It's worth looking up if you want to see them.
So if you fully charge Choo Choo's attack for Spark, it'll bounce around the room. So that's what's used for the first 2 or 3 attacks of the blocky fight. Yeah, so using a Parasol Choo Choo is actually really not effective. That going solo Kirby is actually better. Solo Kirby with Parasol is actually pretty strong.
Yes, and unfortunately, because Suzuri ran into the mini boss afterwards, it destroyed it, and he couldn't collect the clean power up, and that means he has to restart. It's a tough game. It's very deceptive. This is going to show us the bad ending here. You get to see the enemy names, so it's pretty cool.
To my knowledge, there are no differences between English and Japanese. Even like most of the text, as little as there is like the same.
I think only the title screen is any different. That's because they have to translate the title of the game.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Alright, Suzuri has all the heart stars. The only thing standing between him and the end is D3 and Dark Matter.
Yeah, I think English carts of this game are very rare. I think for Japanese it's still fairly common. Oh yeah, I should mention I'm playing on the Dream Collection version, and he's playing on the Super Famicom version. Yeah, so wait, actually, I'm probably very behind because I'm watching the stream as well. But DD, especially the second phase, control a lot.
There is no difference if you dump Choo-Choo because you can't bring her into the final fight anyway. It's just
Wait,
no difference.
I think you like get off automatically. I could be wrong about that. Like I just do it.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
I think you can pick her back up though. You grab the star. Oh no, it's the cutscene. You're right. So Suzuri spawned Gooey here. Gooey's damage does help a little bit with this fight, and only this phase of the fight. So if you're using two controllers, you can usually use them here.
Yeah, the computer-controlled AI is not great, but
he tries.
He tries, yeah.
He's still Gooey in the end.
I'm seeing on the stream like we just shooting everything over the boss. It does take away a bar of health, so it's something you'd only do if you like had like near full health.
Time for Suzuri. It was just under 139.
All right.
GG.
GG.
Alrighty, GG on both racers. Swordmankirby at 129.03, suzuribaco at 139, and counting. At least on my feet.
It was like a high 130 or something.
It is. Excellent race for a game not seen too often. Everyone knows Dreamland. Everyone knows Superstar really good. You don't see too much of Dreamland 3.
Well, there is kind of a reason. Mainly in the mini games.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, one game fortunately I was on the other chat line listening to planning for next race. The game was that if the 5 spikes show up and he hits the spike so many times, you have to pick that many spikes.
Each one drops and makes a specific sound effect.
Oh, it's
And
audio based.
Then he has to.
Yeah.
He hits the one next to him, and you have to find the one that made that sound effect.
Oh no.
And it goes faster each time, so it's really.
Oh boy. Yeah, that sounds like fun. That's towards the end of the game too. That's pretty far into the run. Oh, by the way, play this game and hopefully it goes smoothly.
Yep.
All right, again, the game Kirby Dream Land 3 came out towards the end of the SNES cycle. You can see the art style is similar to Yoshi's Island 2, the cute little crown figurines. And as chat mentioned, the cute little pictures throw you off guard, the game being brutally hard for 100%. So, don't be shocked.
Oh, the last 3% are like 10 times worse than what you just saw.
Yeah, there's M, J, and B. Each of them contribute 1%. Each of them are pretty difficult.
Oh boy. Excellent run. The game is again not seen too often, but like you said, long duration, lots of mashing involved, lots of technical skill. Definitely involves a lot of work. And it's not just simply hold right and jump. Kirby games have a lot of you jump, you float around. There's a lot more technical things in the game than usually means most platformers. And with all the companions to help you out, you also have to choose what works out pretty well for a given stage, what strats you have there. Chat is getting jumpy. Next up, we have the Final Fantasy IV race. 80% no credits warp. If you've been watching the tournament of My City of Madness, there's actually a game past Mount Ordeals. It might surprise you. There's a lot more to the game than just becoming a paladin.
I didn't know that. I joined that tournament. I didn't know there was stuff after that.
What? Okay. Well, Goldbest may not be the bad guy. We'll find out.